First go to PCSX2.net and download the installer. Once the installer is downloaded, run it, and eventually you get to the point where it asks for a BIOS. To get the BIOS, we're going to need to go inside the PlayStation 2 system, which means we're going to need some software. First, download FreeDVDBoot and get the version that corresponds to your PlayStation 2's DVD drive. Next, we're going to need another piece of software called the BIOS dumper binary. Once we have this, we're good to go. Next, we're going to need to plug in a USB drive to the computer. Then go into the PS2 dumper folder and copy over the dump bios-mas.elf to the USB drive and take it out. Next, chuck in a writable DVD to the computer. Now we are going to want to burn the FreeDVDBoot ISO to it. After the burn is completed, we are going to want to take out the DVD. Now over to the PS2, we're going to want to plug in the USB and turn it on. Once the PS2 is on, we're going to want to open the browser. Now put the DVD into the PlayStation 2. It should just pop up in the browser and you'll be able to run it. Go to File Browser, Mass, and run the dump BIOS file. This will start dumping the BIOS and you'll need to wait for 5 things to be completed. Once this is done, turn off the PS2 and take out the USB. Now plug the USB back in. Copy the BIOS files from the USB to the PCSX2 BIOS folder, then hit refresh list and select the BIOS. Now PCSX2 should be good to go. Whew, that was a fair amount of stuff, but we still need the games. First, we are going to need a piece of software that can dump the ISO image. I personally used ImageBurn, but you can use whatever you want. Now we need the game. For this example, I chose Midnight Club 3 Dub Edition Remix. Take the game disc and chuck it into your computer. Now go to your ISO dumping software and select Create Image File from Disk and run it. Now we have the game. You can put the ISO wherever you want, but I personally put my games in the PCSX2 folder. To run the game, go to PCSX2, select CDVD, then ISO selector, and find where you put the game. Then select System and boot fast. Now the game is running, all we have to worry about is the input device. If you're using a PC or Xbox controller, then you're probably already good to go. However, if you want to use a PS4 controller or mouse and keyboard, that's going to require some additional setup. For a PS4 controller, download a piece of software called DS4 Windows and install it. Run the software and your controller will be able to connect via cable or Bluetooth. To put your controller into pairing mode, hold down the home button and share button until the light starts flickering. Then go into your Windows 10 Bluetooth settings and connect it. Now we can use the PS4 controller with PCSX2. If you want to use a keyboard and mouse, you'll have to manually bind the keys by going to Config, Controllers, and Plugin Settings. Now we can play the game, but how can we get it in that crispy clean HD resolution? To do this, go to Config, Video, Plugin Settings, and select the internal resolution you would like to run at. Now we've got everything set up and we're running the game at a much higher resolution. So that was pretty much everything, but there is one more thing that can be useful, and this is PCSX2 hotkeys. If you go to PCSX2 Wiki's hotkey page, there are a bunch of useful hotkeys to learn, such as save stating and turbo mode. You should definitely check them out. Yeah, so that's it. Hopefully this video was helpful in some way, shape or form. I think I'll get this video done on New Year's, so Happy New Year's and see ya.